Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Palst here. As you can see, I'm in this lush forest. I'm wearing green. Everything is green around me. And the reason is I'm going to share a story with you today. And it's not just a story, it's my favorite story of all time, which is Thorndike and Nelson. It's two monsters. But don't be discouraged because they're monsters, because they know an awful lot about friendship. We can learn a lot from them. So, I've read many stories to you before in the past. I'm going to continue reading stories to you. But my number one all time is Thorndike and Nelson. There is a sequel to the story, which is Big Lips and Hairy Arms. And you'll also see that on the playlist. But here it is, number one of all time. Look at these guys. All right. Every morning, two monsters met under a poison apple tree to sip bubbling swamp water from small blue teacups and nibble sweet, sticky treats with lemon frosting. Their names were Thorndike and Nelson. A little reflection. Let me move this a little bit. Give me a second. That's better. And every morning, Nelson's dog, Dot, prowled the neighborhood until she found an unintended item of footwear, which she speared with one long white fang and brought back to her master. There's Dot. That's a good pup. Look what Dot found this time, Nelson said. A big pink slipper. Thorndike jumped up so fast, his stump fell over backwards. That's my slipper, he cried. That smelly mud stole my slipper, and it was brand new, too. Battling some mosquitoes out here. But it's worth it. Got a great story. Beautiful trees around us. Everything green. What did you call Dot? Nelson asked, puffing up with anger. I called her a smelly mutt, Thorndike said. Only a smelly mutt would steal a slipper and chew a hole in it. Nobody calls Dot a smelly mutt and gets away with it, Nelson said. He picked up the pot of bubbling swamp water and poured it over his best friend's head. Yee-oh! Thorndike screeched. Oh no, friends are getting into a conflict. You are going to be very sorry you did that, Thorndike shouted. Very, very sorry. Then he turned and ran through the thistles and weeds and swamp grass to Nelson's house. Stop! Nelson yelled, running after him. Come back! What are you gonna do? Dot looked up with mild interest. Then, gulp, she swallowed the big, pink slipper. Thorndike grabbed Nelson's cookie jar and emptied all of his chocolate-covered lizards down the kitchen sink. Nelson gasped. Chocolate-covered lizards were his favorite snack. He covered his eyes with his big hairy hands and cried, Poor Nelson. Nelson blew his nose and wiped his eyes. Then he ran across the street to Thorndike's house. Don't you dare! Thorndike yelled. Nelson, I'm warning you! Nelson darted through Thorndike's front door and up the stairs to his bedroom. He grabbed Thorndike's bat wings and emptied the box out the window. Not my Batwing collection! Thorndike wailed as he watched the tissue-thin wings flutter slowly to the ground. No. Well, maybe it'll end there. Look at that car. Oh, it's a beauty. Thorndike ran back to Nelson's house. He pulled the garage door open and the air out of all 7 tires on Nelson's Sharkmobile. Spinning around so fast he tripped and almost fell, Nelson raced back to Thorndike's house. The Sharkmobile. "Stay off my property!" Thorndike yelled. "No trespassing!" Nelson ran to the bookcase where Thorndike kept his jar of pet spiders. He unscrewed the lid and set them free, all 1,128 of them. Thorndike fell to the floor. "My spiders!" he cried. "They're getting away! Come back, Sam! Come back, Tina, Boris, Fred, Mona, and Lisa! Come back!" But none of the spiders came back. "Nelson, you have done it this time," Thorndike said. "This time you have really done it." Well, here we go. Thorndike made a beeline for Nelson's prize-winning skunk cabbage patch. "No!" Nelson howled in horror. Not my prize-winning skunk cabbage patch." Thorndike was reaching for Nelson's biggest, most stinky blue ribbon. Stinky blossom when he heard a noise under the juniper tree. It was Dot. Guys, I'm making a prediction what's happening to Dot. Think about what happened earlier in the story. All right, let's see how you did. Uh-oh. "Call the police!" Nelson yelled. "Call the fire department! Call the President of the United States! Dot is choking!" Nelson grabbed Dot by her feet and shook her upside down. When that didn't work, he slapped her on the back. Dot made a small gasping noise, then collapsed. No, not Dot. "Don't die, Dot," Nelson sobbed. Big salty tears sprayed from his eyes. "Please don't die." "Step back," Thorndike said, finally pushing Nelson aside. He wrapped his arm around Dot's middle, clasped his hands under her ribcage, and squeezed. "Patoo!" Out popped the big pink slipper. "You saved Dot's life," Nelson cried, giving Thorndike a big bear hug. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Dot jumped up and licked Thorndike's nose. "I'm sorry I called Dot a smelly mutt," Thorndike said to Nelson. "My mouth spoke before my brain could stop it." Nelson slapped his right hand with his left. "That's what you get for pouring bubbling swamp water on Thorndike's head," he said to his hand. "Don't ever do it again." Oh, they're making up. Thorndike used a wrench to open the pipe under Nelson's sink and retrieve his chocolate-covered lizards. Very carefully, Nelson picked up Thorndike's bat wings. They're making amends. Thorndike pumped the air back into the Sharkmobile's tires. "I'm glad we're friends again," Nelson said as he dropped the last spider back into the jar on Thorndike's bookcase. "Me too," Thorndike replied. "Fighting gives me indigestion." "It makes my stomach hurt," Nelson said. Then, arm in arm, the two monsters headed for Thorndike's house. Oh, the monsters just sneezed. When they made a fresh pot of bubbling swamp water and a big platter of frosted lemon bars to eat under the poison apple tree. As for Dot, she never picked up another shoe, sock, slipper, or boot. She did, however, begin to bring home assorted undergarments. Thorndike and Nelson, you hear the birds chirping. They're happy. I'm happy. I'm happy to share my favorite story with you. I really hope you enjoyed it, boys and girls. Keep reading, and I'm going to keep sharing my stories with you, okay? All right, boys and girls. I'll see you soon.